Behind one of the deadliest terror attacks in modern Indian history lies a complex web of international conspiracies, secret identities, and unlikely operatives. The 26/11's Mumbai attacks shocked the world, but while the gunmen captured the headlines, key players behind the scenes remained hidden. One of them, Tahawur Rana, a soft-spoken, educated immigrant running a visa business in Chicago, turned out to be deeply entangled in a deadly plan that claimed 166 innocent lives. This is the story of how a man with a clean face became a shadow figure in global terrorism. Tahawur Hussain Rana was born in 1961 in Chichawatni, a city in the Punjab province of Pakistan. He came from a modest background and joined the Pakistan Army as a medical officer. Those who knew him in his early years described him as intelligent, disciplined, and quiet. He eventually left the army and moved abroad, first to Canada, where he became a naturalized citizen, and then to the United States. There, he settled in Chicago and started a business called First World Immigration Services. On the surface, Rana appeared to be a model immigrant, a family man, a professional, and a successful entrepreneur. But under the surface, things were far from ordinary. The real story began to unfold when Rana reconnected with an old friend from his school days at the Pakistani Army's Cadet College, Hassan Abdul David Coleman Headley, formerly Dawood Gilani. Headley, like Rana, had roots in Pakistan but grew up in the West and carried an American passport. However, Headley had been radicalized and recruited by Lashkar-e-Taiba, a Pakistan-based terrorist group known for its violent agenda against India. Headley had undergone training with Lashkar, and his mission was to scout targets in India, especially Mumbai, for an upcoming large-scale attack. To carry out his reconnaissance without suspicion, Headley needed a legitimate cover. That's where Tahawur Rana came in. Using his immigration firm as a front, Rana provided Headley with the appearance of a business executive scouting expansion opportunities. Headley even posed as a representative of Rana's company while traveling to Mumbai and other Indian cities. He made multiple trips between 2006 and 2008, recording hours of video footage, photographing potential targets, and mapping escape routes, all crucial elements that were later used by the 10 terrorists who executed the attacks in November 2008. But Rana's role wasn't limited to passive assistance. According to U.S. prosecutors, he helped Headley draft fake business documents, introduced him to contacts, and facilitated travel plans. While Rana claimed he believed Headley was working for Pakistani intelligence and not for terrorists, the evidence suggested otherwise. Email records, testimony from Headley himself, and other intelligence findings pointed to Rana having knowledge, at least partial, of what Headley was doing and who he was working for. In 2009, after Headley was arrested by the FBI for plotting an attack on a Danish newspaper, investigations quickly revealed his deep involvement in the Mumbai attacks as well. That's when the FBI turned its attention to Rana. He was arrested from his Chicago home in October 2009 and charged with conspiracy to provide material support to a terrorist organization and to commit terrorist acts. His trial in the United States began in 2011 and became a focal point for international observers. The courtroom saw hours of detailed testimony from David Headley, who turned witness for the prosecution in exchange for a reduced sentence. Headley explained how Rana knew of his connections with Lashkar-e-Taiba and how they had coordinated various parts of the operation under the guise of business trips. Despite the damning testimony, Rana was not convicted for his role in the Mumbai attacks. The jury found him guilty of supporting Lashkar-e-Taiba and of conspiring to attack the Danish newspaper but acquitted him of direct involvement in 26/11. This verdict frustrated Indian authorities, who had hoped for a stronger statement of accountability for the Mumbai tragedy. Nevertheless, India did not back down. It formally requested Rana's extradition, citing his role in facilitating Headley's movements and communications. The extradition process took years, delayed by legal wrangling and bureaucratic obstacles. Rana's defense team argued that since he had already been tried in the US for related charges, extraditing him to India would violate the principle of double jeopardy. But Indian officials maintained that the charges in India were separate and pertained directly to acts committed on Indian soil. In 2023, a US federal judge ruled in favor of extradition, stating that Rana could indeed be sent to India to face trial for his role in the 26/11 attacks. The final decision now lies with the U.S. Secretary of State, who must consider both legal and diplomatic factors before executing the extradition. If sent to India, Rana will face trial under Indian anti-terrorism laws, and could be charged with waging war against a nation, conspiracy, and aiding a terrorist organization. What makes Rana's story particularly chilling is not just his involvement in a terror plot, but how seamlessly he blended into society while enabling such actions. He was a father, a businessman, and a former army doctor, roles that symbolize stability and trust. And yet, he became part of one of the most devastating terror conspiracies in the world. His life serves as a cautionary tale of how extremism can penetrate even the most ordinary-seeming individuals and how terror networks exploit relationships, legitimate businesses, and global mobility to carry out attacks that ripple across continents. The story of Tahawur Rana is also a reminder of how justice in global terrorism cases is not always swift. Despite the horror of 26/11, many key conspirators remain free or only partially prosecuted. As of now, Rana remains in U.S. custody, and the world world watches to see whether India will finally get a chance to hold him accountable in its own courts. Terror doesn't always wear a mask. Sometimes, it sits quietly in an office, signs documents, books flights, and makes polite conversation. The case of Tahawur Rana is a chilling reminder that behind every headline-grabbing attack lies a silent network of enablers, supporters, and planners. Justice may be slow, but for those who lost loved ones on 26/11, every step toward accountability counts. The world owes it to them, and to future generations, to never stop asking questions and never stop seeking the truth. Thank you for watching. If you found this content insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more valuable contents like this.